For the motorcycling community, Erik Buell's name conjures the idea of a sporty Harley-Davidson, a winning racing career, and the subsequent hell he paid for attaching himself to a failing Milwaukee motorcycling brand. His original Buell brand under the Harley-Davidson umbrella established him as one of the most creative and lateral-thinking innovators in the two-wheeled pantheon. Built around heavily flawed Harley motors, Buell bikes handled like little else on the planet and showcased some very cool and original ideas, like fuel in the frame, oil in the swing arm, underslung mufflers, rim-mounted single-disc brakes, etc., that made these bikes refreshingly unique as well as a ton of fun to ride. When Harley unceremoniously dumped the Buell brand in 2009, Erik rebounded by starting his own company, Erik Buell Racing, which gave birth to a brilliant sport bike in the EBR 1190RX and a highly strung street fighter in the 1190SX. Sadly, it didn't last. Buell was heartbreakingly forced to shut EBR down in 2015, to the great dismay of hordes of motorcycle fans who adored his work and wished him success. But after a few false starts, Buell is back to greet the 21st century with an all-electric motorcycle and bicycle company called FUELL. The new cheekily named company was founded by Buell as well as Francois Xavier Turney and Sauber Alfa Romeo Formula One boss Fred Vasseur. The trio embarked to create a new, more stylish path towards urban mobility. That's an idea that is thrown around quite often in the tech and transportation worlds, and the idea's weight has grown less effective each time it is used. FUELL's mission, and the motorcycle and bicycle they plan on building, appears to address real transportation concerns, not just hype to find investors to sell quickly. Looking at the increasingly regulated urban city centers and the outright bans on cars in some cases, Turney and Vasseur partnered with Buell to provide quick urban transportation with both an electric bicycle using a 980 kilowatt battery pack. And though the Fluid's appearance is what we've come to expect from high-end electric bicycles, its range and power are definitely more in tune with Erik Buell's former gig. With a staggering 125-mile range, the Fluid is by and large one of the most far-reaching electric bicycles and aims to not only deliver the last mile of service for public transit users, but could also be used as an efficient private way to forego transit altogether. Though the Fluid's horsepower hasn't been realized, the electric bicycle's torque is rated at a monumental 77 pound-feet delivered to the rear wheel, more than enough for someone's average commute. As for the price, with this sort of range and torque comes a non-entry-level price of $3,395. As for the larger, more Harley-Davidson live-wire-like Flow motorcycle, much of the technology from Fluid is carried over. It still has a 125-mile range, but either uses a 10 kilowatt or 35 kilowatt battery pack, allowing it to connect to a fast charger that will return full range in just 30 minutes. Moreover, though the FUELL Flow has a similar range compared to the Harley-Davidson's live-wire electric motorcycle, the Flow only costs $10,995, which is just slightly more expensive than your average motorcycle. However, when put up against the Harley-Davidson, it becomes nearly $20,000 less expensive. That is a bargain, and a clear shot to Erik Buell's former business partners in Wisconsin. At the brand's introduction, Buell stated, "It is the most radically innovative design I've ever done, with new concepts never seen before. In a world where people want the privacy of personal transportation, FUELL aligns itself to ensure its future with a stylish flair. FUELL is aiming at a delivery date for the Fluid by year's end, while the Flow, which will take more time in terms of manufacturing setup, is said to be delivered by early 2021. What I think is that it's going to be really cool to see these motorcycles come out because they're going to reach a younger generation of bikers. And as the average age of bikers are 51 in the United States of America, it seems that maybe biking is going to die. And as an avid biker who just loves this world, I wonder what they're going to come up with that's going to help young people want to become bikers and live this lifestyle that we live. I don't know how they're going to do it on these little bitty motorcycles because we love to ride coast to coast and across the country in all kinds of weather, but I'm sure the technology will catch up to where maybe it'll only take as long as it takes to stop at a gas station and get some gas to fill up your battery. Maybe that's only going to take a few minutes. And so I don't know. What are we going to see? Are we going to see huge baggers with batteries that carry motorcycles across the country? And I think that's going to kind of be interesting because we won't have the vroom vroom that we're used to, and maybe we won't even have shifting gears. It'll all be wire run motors and automatic transmissions. But as long as we're out there on two, getting the bugs in our teeth, riding with our brothers, even if the experience changes and one day we're riding on those Star Wars like flying motorcycles that swish through the air and you can fight wars with them and shoot lasers, as long as we're on two catching bugs, or maybe in the air, you won't have two then, but you'll be flying and catching bugs and riding on the back of iron. Brothers on our jock for the way we ride a piece of steel. So what you saying? I love it. Keep it up, Buell, with your fuel. Best of luck to the rest of you. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny.